Welcome back to Clout 941. We're here again with Nathan Lee. Nathan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the current law governing the training of 911 operators and what you want to see changed?
Well, you know, until this past year, when we got the Denise Lee Act passed, which is basically what that bill is, it's a law that states that the state of Florida has a set of standards now. I think it's 250 hours of training. But they're not, you know, mandatory training. It's basically a voluntary thing. The state says, you know what, we recommend that you have this, but you don't have to have it. And, you know, they're, the exact numbers are leaving me, but there are states throughout the country that don't have any type of standards whatsoever. And Florida is one of them until this year. But the biggest thing is we need to make those training standards mandatory. You know, every county and every city agency, every 911 emergency dispatch center should have the same type of training, be trained on the same things, and be a universal system, a uniform system across the state.
But I guess that there are agencies maybe that don't want to do it for whatever reason. Why are people opposed to that?
Well, you know, the biggest thing is money. It would be an unfunded mandate. You know, Nancy Dietert Senator Nancy Dietert and Representative Roberson have introduced bills into the Senate and the House up in the state, up in Tallahassee, and you know the biggest opposition is going to be the money aspect. You know, certain agencies say they can't afford it. You know, they don't have any more money in their budget with all the budget cuts. But you know, I look at it, and my argument with that is, you know, well, what's more important? You know, 911 is our first line of defense when it comes to emergencies as far as medical. Criminal, like in my wife's case, and random other different things, and you know, I think that should be a top priority. Public safety should be a top priority in any state, local government. And you know, if money's an issue, then you know, there's an E911 fund set up in the state of Florida. You have a 50-cent tax on your phone bill. That's put into a fund that counties and cities can request a grant with the state and get funding for training. So there's means to an end, and it's going to be a long road, but I'm very optimistic, and I'm going to continue to lobby, and it's going to get to the point where it needs to be.
Well, I guess here one thing we talked about at the beginning of the show is that this guy crashes his car into the pond out here yesterday, and somebody in the library calls 911, and the officers got there so fast they saved his life by diving in. You know. Who's opposed to this? I mean, in terms of specifically, are there any certain agencies that are kind of taking the lead and opposing it, or politicians?
No, I haven't heard of any politicians that are opposing it. I mean, the first bill was a unanimous yes in both the House and the Senate.
Okay.
You know, I think the biggest thing is the biggest opposition is probably going to come from the Sheriff's Association, the Chiefs Association, because of the money aspect of it. But hopefully, with speaking with them and trying to work to a means to an end, we can get past that.
Now, you've also created a foundation. Can you tell us what the name of the foundation is and a little bit about it?
The foundation I started back in April is the Denise Lee Foundation, after my wife. And basically the main mission of the foundation is to reform the 911 system and help families of murder victims who have experienced similar tragedies that didn't necessarily get the same support that I did and our family did. So the foundation's taken off. We've raised over $30,000 in not even a year yet. And the support's been great, and we've gotten responses from all over the country and even all over the world. We have a website, deniseamberlee.org, and it's exciting, and we're really moving in the right direction.
Well, I certainly hope that people in our audience who are pretty civically active will consider making a donation to that foundation. We don't usually advocate things like that, but I can't think of a better cause.
Thank you.
I guess the last thing I'm going to ask you is, you know, the trial, I guess, is coming up. Do you have any plans? What's your plan there? Are you going to watch the trial? How do you feel about that?
Yeah,
thinking about it.
It's a dark thing at the end of the tunnel that I'm not looking forward to, and it's going to happen. I'm going to be there every step of the way, and you know, justice will be served, and you know, it's pretty much all I can do. I can't control it. I can't really do anything to control anything at that point. So right now, I'm really trying to focus on what I can control and turn a negative into a positive, and you know, that's what Denise would want us to do.
Okay, well, Nathan, you're a great guy. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
Good luck with your kids and with the foundation.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, finally, our final segment is the Weasel of the Week.
whining at the Weasel. I see the empty pocket needs a refill. I got a squad with a list of complainers.
Last week we decided we ran out of time. We didn't have time to do our Weasel of the Week, and we took a lot of heat, got a lot of emails from everybody, including one angry person who said that I should be the Weasel of the Week this week because I didn't do a Weasel of the Week last week. I was also told that several elected officials were having dinner at a function last week, and we're all talking about that they only watched the last 30 seconds of the show to make sure that they're not the Weasel of the Week. This week our Weasel of the Week is an easy one. It's Art Nadel, of course, who is the guy who took $350 million of Sarasotans and Longboat Key and Manatee County people's money who invested with him and disappeared this week. Apparently this Ponzi scheme that he had set up involved a guy named Neil Moody who was bringing in the investors. He was a so-called rainmaker who would go out there and attend these different charitable functions and foundations and round up wealthy local people to invest money, and they would do it. And what happened to that money is a mystery. $350 million was supposed to be in this fund that he managed, and I guess there's only a few $100,000 left, and he's disappeared. So hopefully he will be apprehended. Hopefully he has gone to a country that extradites to the United States or is still in the United States, and we'll find him and track him down and bring him to justice. That's another edition of Clout 941. We'll see you next week.